In the second segment, we have something nothing short of amazing. We are actually going to be watching a movie trailer, but also learning about a movie named Before I Die. And the team behind this film is actually in the studio with us today. So we've got live in the studio, we've got Minhaj Kibriya, we've got Ifti Ahmed, and we've also got Abdul Mia. So a big warm welcome to all of you onto the Sunday show today.
Thank you, Prabha.
Pleasure to have all of you on the Sunday show. So if I can ask, what makes this film different? We've got Before I Die on the screens, there's other films out there, but what makes this film different?
Abdullah, let you answer that.
Yeah. I think the key thing is one of the key elements. There's a couple of elements, and the film. There is a lot of twist in the film. There's a lot of thinking in the film, and even from the premiere, the feedback I got is that a lot of people were, they had to think about the film. The key thing for me was, as the fight action director, was to introduce a style of fighting which is used in Hollywood, in most of the Hollywood films, and try and give the British Bangladeshi and the Bangladeshi audience an opportunity to see a bit more action. It was an introduction, and I'm sure people will appreciate it. It is tough trying to take a Hollywood type of action into that film industry, and I think, so that I will say that was a key thing. The other thing was key. I don't want to give too many spoilers away. You will have to think about, when you're watching the film, you will look at the action, you'll look at the story, you will see that it's not same as the other types of films that come out. So there's definitely it's a different film.
So I think the answer is we need to watch the movie in order to find out why it's different. And of course you mentioned the premiere which happened, and that happened very recently. So could you tell us more about the premiere which recently took place?
Well, we had the premiere in Genesis Cinema. It was a world premiere. And we had wonderful turnout. A lot of people came out to watch it, and the experience was very positive from the audiences. And I think we were overwhelmed, and it has given us a lot of inspiration, actually, to move on to our next project. We'll talk about that later on.
And the premiere was, we wanted to give an experience to the community. I mean, our community probably never had that kind of experience. To watch something on a big screen with the sound quality, with the cinematic viewing. I mean, we're used to watching it indoors, so we wanted to give that experience. And I think this probably be something new in our community now, that try and motivate people to come and watch films. I watch big screen films only. Yeah. Henceforth, we wanted our community to be part of that, and we kind of tried to share it with everyone as well.
This was actually more of a British Western film in Bangla, I would say. I mean, that's the main difference here. It was westernized movie. The storyline, the screenplay was everything very Western, which was in Bangla language. So this is something, when we show it in Bangladesh, I mean, this is what they will get to see different about this movie.
So typically what we might see is when we have Bangla language movies, then the plot might be very sort of based in that kind of culture. But what you're doing is fusing the two, and you're saying we're taking a Western context, but we're fusing it with the Bangla language. And that will actually appeal to a wider audience, I think.
Of course. I mean, Bangladesh already makes wonderful movies.
Yes.
They've been doing it for a long, long time. And how do we stand out? So this is how I believe that we will stand out in the crowd. And we're looking forward to taking the movie in Bangladesh. I mean, we had premiere in UK because this is where we're from. We're from East London, we're from Tower Hamlets. 3 of us are from here. So it was very natural for us to basically show the film here in a hometown, home city.
Nothing more exciting than seeing the film in a hometown like this.
So our family, friends, and people that we know from our community, everyone went, and they loved it.
And if anyone didn't get a chance to see it, then of course now is the perfect time for us to check out the trailer.
You're going to Dhaka.
Roy ঢাকা আসবে। তোকে ছাড়া নিঃশ্বাস চলে না। কখনো কারো গল্পে ভালো মানুষও ভিলেন হয়।
সবাইকে মারবো।
Wow, such a bright finish with the flames, and there were plenty of shots I could see which were featuring you. So, of course, if we can come to you as well. Of course, being in this film, it said introducing. It must be very, very exciting for you, like it's exciting for us watching this movie. So, what's this experience been like for you, being in this movie that obviously means so much to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I mean, me and Kibrubai started this a long time ago, almost 4 years ago. COVID came in between. You know, we were thinking about how we're going to finish this film. All the effort we've done in pre-production, the training with Abdul Bhai, the language learning, the pre-production. He went back and forth to Bangladesh a lot of times. So finally to see it on a big screen at the premiere, and the audience reaction was incredible. Yeah, and then looking back at the trailer now, sometimes when you're sort of doing the work, you just so sort of into it all. And when you see it on the screen, it makes it all worth it. So yeah, it's been brilliant
Certainly
journey.
worth it. And you mentioned there the sort of pre-production phase. Obviously, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that perhaps when we watch it on the screen, we don't realise actually how much effort's gone. And you're nodding as well. What does the pre-production phase actually involve?
A lot of things. All of us have got our own preparation towards it, but I think Kibraz is the director of the film. He's overseeing it all.
Pre-production, pre-production, you just need to find the right team. First, you find the right team, then you find the right cast, and then you go out and find the right locations. And then you have to get everyone's schedule and fit it in, so you make sure everyone's on the board, and they're all meeting your timetable and everything. So, I mean, I just said it quite smoothly, but it's a lot of hard work, days and hours, and a lot of effort. And if anything goes wrong, the entire plan collapses. You see. So and with Abdul Bhai, he needs to basically find right fighting crew as well. The people that will be doing the stunts and everything. So we need to find those. So much element goes into pre-production. Is the main, I'd say, the main element of filmmaking, to get the right people on board. And as soon as you have that, then it's easy. So,
you know, as a community, you know, we just used to watching films, but it's a very, very important question that you raise: is what happens before the film comes out. I think that preparation, and in some of the previous Hollywood films, you will see, even in the martial art films, that they do a little clip of how the making of the film. You know, and sometimes the making of the film is quite interesting as well. And I think with our audience, I think the appreciation will come in when they realise the hard work, the effort, the sweat. I mean, with Ifti, you know, he had to train over a year and a half, physically train, you know, in order for him to be ready psychologically, mentally, physically, so that when he is going to be doing the fight action, he's ready for that. And then the job is to train the others who are going to come in the scene. So there's a lot of physical hard work from a director's perspective. You know, you've got management, you've got to think about all the projects. It's like a proper project management. You have to manage his timetable, people's schedules. It's a science in itself. You know, to make a film is a science, and I would like our audience to kind of reflect and kind of like think about if they were going to make let's say, a wedding video. How much time and effort you have to put in behind that. You've got to make sure the clothes, you know, you got your right outfit and everything. So it is a science, and I think a lot of people don't ask that question. I feel grateful that you did ask that question, because then people will value the effort that we had to put in order to make this film.
I think it's easy for me to sit here and say, well, I love the film, or I love the final product, but I think it's very hard for us to actually understand all the effort that goes behind the scenes, because as you mentioned, like making a video, there's so much that goes into it. And I'm just thinking, when I'm watching a movie, it's not just the script or the way people are looking, it's also everything has to be perfectly timed. I saw so many different angles that were in that trailer, like there were shots from above and, you know, all these like rushing kind of scenes.
Amazing. See, this is what we want our audience to experience, because then they will appreciate that, because we put a lot of effort in. I mean, our director, you know, like he made sure that we had all the right.
So in pre-production, you have to think about the shots. You have to think about the angles, as you mentioned. You have to think about the colors, the costume. I need to think about when Abdul Bhai choreographs a fight scene, you have to also look at where you're going to place the camera and how actors will basically respond to each other.
Safety.
Safety.
Yeah? Safety.
Yeah.
Safety is also a key element. If it's an action film, we've got to make sure that our lead actor isn't injured. So all those elements are there. It's not easy. It's very hard.
Definitely cannot have you injured.
They almost killed me, by the way, running through the streets of Dhaka middle of the night.
How did that happen?
Yeah. Well, it does happen. I mean, like in action movies, you'll get some injuries, but alhamdulillah, he was all right. He was safe, but he did come to a point.
I managed to dodge a rickshaw and a CNG and a motorbike all in one. So, but I did make the final cut, which was disappointed.
You can put that in the behind-the-scenes video.
How
you managed to save his life.
Yeah.
But of course, you mentioned all the risks behind it. Even knowing all of these dangerous kind of things that you have to go through, like with the health, like the training, and then changing your appearance, you still took on this role. So what motivated you to do this?
You have to, because look, as what Kibra was saying earlier, we're trying to tap into a market where it's a British film in Bangla language. So with that, there's a certain standard that we all have ourselves. We didn't want to go into any film without the preparation. If you've seen the directors doing all the pre-production for the film, if you see the action directors doing all the preparation about what sort of action you're to present, as actors, we have to go prepared as well. And the last thing we want to do is be on screen and be questioned about our preparation. So that's what motivates you. And then secondly, you've got your own standards.
I told you, if you are not fully trained, if you're not super fit, well, this is a very physical film.
Yeah.
You probably saw in the trailer, it demanded somebody who is the lead actor to be super fit in that movie. I mean, the stunt work, the fight scenes. We only cut certain parts, but we had to shoot all day to get that little small part, you see. Yeah. And an actor had to do that. And for that, I have to thank Ifti for training over 1.5 years with Abdul Bhai, non-stop. Now, so even in the COVID, they used to go out in the park and obviously, of course, maintain the distance and everything. But he didn't stop. He didn't stop training. And so hence, I mean, we were well prepared. When we started, we were well prepared. And well, actually, when we thought, like, are we going to do this? Are we ready? Yes, we are. We went for it.
Yeah. And I think our preparation also helped. I think we've made a contribution to the Bangladesh team as well, because one of the key things is building a relationship with the new team over there. Obviously, we're from Britain. I mean, my Bangla isn't very good as well. I mean,
your Bangla's great.
They'll tell you many stories about my Bangla. For me, it's a new culture in Bangladesh, and I think it's a good relationship to have that, from a British Bangladeshi background with the Bangladesh team. They get to know how we're doing things, and we get to know how they're doing their things as well. And that interlink is very, very good for us. And I totally agree. We have to maintain a certain standard, and when we tried our best to maintain that standards, we've got room for improvements. We've got room that we can improve on, and because this is our first start, and I think we've made a magnificent start here. And one of the things I like to say to all my audience, don't compare us with like some of the big budget Hollywood films and that, yeah?
Not yet.
200 or 300 million.
Yeah, so I've had friends come to me and they said, "Oh, Abdul Bhai," and I said, "Look, listen, with a modest budget, we've done our best. It's like an entry level."
I mean, looking at that trailer, it didn't look like a modest budget. It looked like it was
compared to
Hollywood.
Compared to Hollywood, in one of the fight action scenes in Hollywood, they will spend millions just making sure.
Yeah.
We'll get there, and we want to get there, but we need everyone help to get there as well. And this is why we've got to create that film-loving culture so that they can feel, just like we've got football teams in our community, they've got now us as filmmakers. Yeah. And if we get community support, we can get there. I think together as a community, we can get there.
That's exactly what we're on the show to do. And of course, our viewers can see on the screen some of the scenes from the movie. And just again, if we mention like all the subtle details, like even the hair blowing, there's so much thought that goes into all of these processes. And I think without the amazing team that you mentioned, this wouldn't have been possible.
Yes.
So
we had a great team in Bangladesh. As soon as they found out this is a sort of British Bangladeshi team coming to Bangladesh, everybody came forward to support, and these are like industry, like very good industry people who've been working in the industry for so long. I had good assistant directors, good production people. I had the best DOP, and they all came and they all helped us out. To be honest, they've cut their fees just to fit into our budget. You see, even the artists, they also cut their fees to fit into a budget. So I'll be very grateful to them. And I had wonderful, even during the launch, we had a press launch. So we had amazing people supporting us. Shamin Akhtar, who I think she supported us to make sure that we have a great event which goes out to the media in a very positive way, and that was done successfully. So I'm very grateful to her. My writer and my manager, Faisal Khan Ripon, who was with me totally throughout the entire process of the filmmaking, and who else, guys? So many other people, so many names even I can't basically.
I'm going to throw some spoilers in there, if you don't mind.
Are we allowed to do spoilers?
I'm going to do it.
Okay,
I'll tell you how I do it. Yeah, the cast in Bangladesh are some of the popular actors and actresses. I've never known them before. Okay, they were amazing. You know, I've had people come up to me from watching the movie from our premiere, and they said, "Yeah, these actors and actresses in Bangladesh, like their acting performance was unbelievable. It was quite amazing." And I think they're going to be really proud. They
took it very seriously.
Yeah.
You see, they sat down with me and they said, "This is the first time we're going to do something international level, and we don't want to get it wrong. So please tell us what to do, how to do it." So we spend a lot of time with them. I spend a lot of time with them. If they spend a lot of time with the other, we all spend time together, and that's how we got this brilliant thing, coming out. Yeah, so I'm very proud
of this kind of international export quality, I would say. And it's, although you're saying the budget's not quite like Hollywood, I mean, the quality is like Hollywood. So what do we have to complain? I mean, I absolutely love...
I just made sure it just looked good for the screen. My DOP was amazing, Sohail. Enamlok Sohail was absolutely amazing. We had kind of like sort of brain sync. He knew exactly what I wanted. Yeah. He didn't go wrong. And he gave all his effort. All the production team, even the guy who was making the tea and coffee, he gave his best. He just made sure I had the best coffee at the right time, and looked after them both. So they can give the best shots. So everybody worked hard. Everyone
worked hard, and I think you're just some of the people on the team who have contributed to making this film such a success, and I'm sure our viewers would love to see this film, and we can see it in the Genesis Cinema, I think, right?
No, we just had a premiere.
Yeah.
It's not on for public viewing. I think we're planning a roadshow. Which will be we'll be going different cities, Birmingham, Manchester, Cardiff. So we're
all
still planning.
Yeah.
So this is yet to be announced.
Yeah. Okay. Surprise.
The community wants to see it. So what we want to do is we give special moments for the community to experience it. So we've been approached, community from Luton, from Birmingham. So wherever the community wants to kind of like say, we will take it there. So we want to still keep it like exclusive so that the big section of the community can see it.
Really putting film into the hands of everyone.
Yes, because
finally, if I can ask you, because of course you are the main actor in this, and all the young people watching this are going to be looking up to you. If there are young actors who want to break into this industry, which is of course quite a difficult thing to do, what message would you have for our young viewers?
There's no shortcut. So put the efforts in, put the hours in. I started from like what they call a junior artist. I was a background artist in a Disney movie, so I went through the sort of different things to get to where I am. It's taken a long time, so just keep doing it. The more you put yourself in front of the camera, the more experience you'll gain, and just keep grafting. It's a lot of hard work.
I think you're a fine example of that, and the fact that you've been training for years just to be able to do this role, I think, is a perfect example of someone who never gives up and always tries to do the best that they can do. I'd like to ask the director the same question, of course, about how younger people can get into this industry.
As if he has already said it, there's no shortcut. You have to study, you have to read, you have to watch. There's plenty of inspiration out there. We had brilliant directors making brilliant movies. Study their work. Just don't watch, study it. Discuss it amongst people who are interested in films or filmmaking. Go out there, make something, produce something. Write, keep on writing. Also just keep on writing, because you won't get it right at the first go. you don't get disappointed if you do. Keep on writing, keep on working. Just don't stop. Just keep on doing it. I mean, that's all I can say. That's what I've been doing. See, I can only give you example from myself, from my own experience.
You're not just film directors and actors, you're motivational speakers as well. And so I can't thank you enough for being on the Sunday Show today, for inspiring not just me, but all of our viewers who are watching today. And I'm sure they're going to love this movie, Before I Die. I would like to see it before I die.